Testing.
We are live with a special pickup game of the Expendable crew because people over on our other game, they want to spend time with their families this week. So
Yes. They want to be social. They want to be human.
I know, but screw that. We're in hell. Speaking of which, let's do the road so far recap here.
Insert Kansas.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when there will be no peace. Let's be honest. This is our game. There will be no peace. It was never an option. What was supposed to have been a quick one stop into Avernus to pick up some infernal gems turned out to be a trip to the grocery store scenario where now you have dedicated your lives to fulfilling the dream of a golden tiny elephant.
Long live Lulu.
To save her friend Zariel from the consequences of her own choices. In doing so, you have made connections with Mad Maggie, the warlord of Avernus, one of the warlords of Avernus. You have negotiated with Bel, the archdevil, former ruler of Avernus. You saw a show from the real Jim Dark Magic, the clone turned lich of the original Jim Dark Magic, and then you faced him in combat. This has literally been the whirlwind trip of Avernus. And it has culminated in you made it to the Bleeding Citadel, the hiding place of the Sword of Zariel. You went back into Lulu's final locked memory, and you saw the straw that broke Zariel and put her on the path to what she became. When the demon lord Uagwa basically attacked her patron city of Idleglen and set her on the final choice to destroy all demons once and for all, only to give in to the evil that is Avernus and become its ruler. Coming out of that, you are presented with a sword and told that the one who becomes one with it will lose themselves. Michael, without thinking, picks it up. As he attunes to the mighty blade, angelic wings come out of his back. His eyes turn silver as a whole new personality comes over him. And in that moment, the entire Bleeding Citadel glows with a blinding light as it explodes outwards. The scab and anything within 1,000 feet of it is absolutely scattered away, and you are all left under the red sky of Avernus. Y'all, the former general of Zariel, the final watcher of the sword, nods to you, bids you farewell and good luck as she fades away into her afterlife. And that's where we'll pick up.
That is going to need a lot of explaining.
Lulu is flying in circles. We got the sword. We can go to Zariel. Let's go to Zariel right now. Let's go.
We need to rest first before we actually
do that.
Let's just fly straight there. You have wings. You can fly now. Let's fly.
I point to Trevor, but his wings don't work like mine.
I'll carry him.
I look to the unicorn. Are you okay with this?
Well, I can't fly, but if it means we get out of here.
I need to change over to my phone for Discord because I'm not hearing either of you after like 30 seconds. So
I'm not repeating anything that Zulu just said.
I can.
You guys haven't rested in a while either.
No, we haven't. That's why my character went, we need to rest. So, yeah. Lulu, we need to fly. We need to fly. Michael, we can't. Trevor's wings don't work that way. Lulu, well, we need to do this. Michael to Unicorn. You okay with that? Unicorn, well, I can't fly. We should probably go sleep somewhere and then go and do this.
Just so you know, what I just rolled, that was the damage that was caused to anything not inside the Bleeding Citadel. You don't see any demons or devils around you.
Oh, well, okay then.
Corvus?
Oh. Did we just lose our
There is quite honestly, however far it is you guys can see, which I know is not the amount of space. Like I said, there is a plain, the scab, that big mountainous scab. You are now in a valley. It is a plain for as far as you can see, and there is not one infernal creature within sight.
This Corvus wasn't in there with us.
No, he was not able to enter without the risk of burning in the sacred ground.
Well, now he just got vaporized, so this is a permadeath for him too. Whoops. Well, that's
The
what you
dude
get
is
for hanging
like,
around us.
wow. This guy hasn't changed at all, but still, wow.
No.
I mean,
No,
there was a mountain here.
Yeah. There was also a Corvus here. Where's Corvus?
Probably up there, down there, over there, and over there.
Michael's just looking around everywhere for Corvus. Like, I liked him. He
I
was
did too,
an evil
but
little shit, but he was nice.
Well, I mean, he was kind of nice. Well, tower somewhere?
Yeah. Maybe Corvus finds us if he's alive. Hope.
Sure.
I need to have hope for him.
I'm just gonna be the logical. Since when am I the logical one? Oh, God. Okay.
You've always been logical in your own way, just like I've always been logical in my own way.
Michael, no offense,
Zoriel
but there's no
is just
logic about you.
glaring at you with that statement. I've only known you for about 24 hours, but that seems like a lie.
Why do you think that's a lie?
Because absolutely nothing you have done in these past 24 hours has been logical.
I took the sword because they said that whoever takes the sword is going to die. Trevor, between the two of us, is the only person who deserves life.
Look at Trevor. Didn't you say that he tried to negotiate with every devil he saw, even when it was simply, we're on the same side, you don't have to come and kill us and take all of our stuff? And didn't you rip out the steering wheel of your ride?
There was a logic behind that.
And didn't you cast a spell to clear the mind of what you thought was a knoll, only to find out it was a death slot?
Well, I mean, Michael, the odds are kind of against you, because I vaguely remember being told something about a kraken.
Attacking a ship, yes. And that was the second time I ended up in the River Styx.
And yet,
I stand by my statements.
Because
But
you're
there's
Like,
sparkling
yeah,
now. Doesn't take
you
away
might
the
have
fact.
you might have damage to your brain. You should probably have that checked out.
I'm not contesting this, but I am stating that there is a logic to my decisions. It doesn't necessarily have to be your logic, but I have my own logic.
Let me rephrase that for you. It doesn't have to be good logic.
We were told that picking up the sword, whoever picked it up would pretty much die.
No, you were told that they would not be the same person that they were. The word death
I
was
know, you
never
seem-
actually in there. And Lulu still starts flying in circles saying, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Okay, Lulu.
Let's go, let's go,
calm
let's
down.
go, let's go, let's go.
Lulu, we need to rest for a time. That way we can be at our top. That way, if anything goes wrong with this, we can get her out.
Mooncolor will kind of look towards Lulu. You don't hear the telepathic conversation, but Lulu's finally like, fine.
Despite everything, Lulu, I'm still human. I think.
And I can't teleport until I rest.
Yep. And that would really help. Michael pulls out the tower and says the word to unfold it into its full.
Okay.
Tower in the middle of a plain where a mountain used to be. Well. Good night. I just walk in.
Zoriel is just like, nothing you do is logical. And then she walks in.
And yet people still go with me. Walks
It's
in.
an adamantine tower. Where else am I going to sleep? I'm just saying,
Zoriel,
why
are
don't
you
you
sure
also
we're
put
not
up a
related?
sign that says, hi, there are people in here.
I think that would be true of any building out in the middle of anywhere.
There are actually
I'll take-
buildings here. They're just all smashed and destroyed. This is actually once a beautiful, lush land.
That was held by who?
Well, that was before the Blood War kicked off. Avernus was meant to be a honey trap. Instead, it became the front line of a war.
So, how many different hells are there? And who controls them?
8. I think.
No, I mean like negative zones of evil.
8.
There's hell, which has a more technical term that Andy doesn't know. There's the abyss. There's the plane of chaos. There's Gehenna.
The plane of shadow.
There are as many as there are planes of light.
But I'm talking about like which ones are distinctly evil. Like,
More than a mortal can count.
huh.
The universe is vast and beyond our comprehension.
So why the hell are they only fighting over these two?
Well, they're not.
She kind of does the demons
Blood War isn't
want to
just in the
destroy the mortal plane. To do that, they have to go through Avernus. They have to go through hell to get to the mortal plane.
See, Zoriel, I pay attention to your lessons sometimes.
I've never had this lesson, so me getting involved into this is quite new.
Okay, this is the way it works. In order to get to the prime material plane, the demons have to go from the abyss through hell. That's why hell is here. That's why Asmodeus set all this up, was to be the stopgap between the two. He might be the Lord of all evil, but as much as it pains me to say it, he is on this. He is on the side of existence.
Okay, So, as evil as he is, he's not a completely selfish prick.
Well, a lot of people think that Asmodeus himself isn't even a devil or anything like that. He's just a celestial being.
He was once.
Was once.
Long before any of us were even remotely in the form we are now, he was a celestial who led the contingent to stop the demons. But this place corrupted them. And when they were no longer allowed back into Mount Celestia, they decided to set up here and rule this plane and prevent the demons from destroying all existence. The demon lords all want something different. Some just want to rule, some want the end of everything. Asmodeus isn't good, but he at least supports existence, and I'm behind that because that's where I keep my stuff.
Fair point.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like having stuff. Stuff is nice.
How long have we been in hell?
A few weeks now.
A few weeks? How does time change in hell, or do we not know?
No one's really come back long enough to... not enough people really track time when they're here, so we don't know. It always seems to feel longer than it is. It feels like we've been here for... Well, it feels like I've been here for several weeks. But you guys actually have been here for several weeks. And I'm guessing it feels like it's been months.
Well, depending how time has changed at home, I probably won't have any stuff to go home to at this point. Because, you know, Civil War, crazy Raven King. Yeah.
Hey, you've always got me. You've always, wherever I am, you always have a home.
I'm going to bed.
Ouch.
I go to bed.
Okay.
Which is
Michael takes up first watch.
So I'm assuming in the tower is just finding a comfortable corner.
Pretty much. It's like camping. You know, you're just going to need to draw out your bedroll, and at least you don't have rocks. It's a flat plane to sleep on.
Yeah.
Michael, go ahead and give me a perception.
At least I have Lulu and Moon Color by me.
Can they keep you? Yeah, they can keep you warm at night.
Okay.
I imagine Lulu has basically become my cat at this point.
Oh, she doesn't sleep on top of you, but...
Well, I don't mean that, but, you know, just how cozy.
Okay,
It's a cute image in my head.
Michael, apparently when there is an explosion of pure radiant energy in hell, everything stays away from it for a time. So your watch goes by peacefully.
Okay, at the end of my watch, I then look around. Okay, who's got second? Hand it over to
Okay, Trevor, go ahead and give me your perception.
and this is where we get an. Oh, wow.
That's good for me.
You see a few things that are limping past the, just the edge of your vision. They look like they might have been the handful of things that survived and got thrown very, very far away and are just now recovering enough to walk. But they are... you don't recognize Corvus in the group.
Okay.
And we're not talking about a group. We're talking about a handful of stragglers who are just trying to, not get eaten by anything because they are all blown the hell up. Quite literally in this case.
Wasn't that scary-ass demon thing trapped where we were?
Yeah. He was huge. You don't see him anywhere.
He either got got blown to smithereens, which I doubt, or now he's loose. Wonderful. Andy, I just lost you.
Yeah, I'm losing you guys too. Let me do a reconnect right quick.
Got you back.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. There is no sign of the giant frog-like thing that is almost unpronounceable because it has more consonants than vowels in a row.
So it's Welsh.
Pretty close from what I can tell.
Or Polish.
I am going with something along the lines of Krakatoa because I think that was at least half right. It was a pet of Yagua, and that's probably all you know. That should be enough to know you don't want to pet it. When it is the pet of the Lord of the Knolls, and
Yeah.
but anyway, other than not seeing which, yeah, that probably should worry you a little bit. And you see the couple others slip by, but no one is coming towards no one is willing to walk directly through the new open plain to go check out the tower that was the center of a radiant explosion.
Okay. I'll just finish my watch. Do we need a third one, or would that be it?
No, that'll be good.
Okay.
Because I handle any of the NPCs, and you don't know what they know.
Okay.
Michael wakes up and goes to the top of the tower, looks around. Corvus!
Zoriel's going to come up there. Do I need to have this whole talk about logic, strategy, not screaming at the top of your lungs in hell? Get your feathery ass down there. And then she will try to drag you away from the top of the tower.
She doesn't have to drag me. Just kind of.
She does it. She still grabs you by the shirt. If you walk along, fine, but she's not letting go.
You don't have to hold me.
Apparently, I do. I am sorry that your pet devil is gone, but he's gone. It's better this way. Let's go.
She's not exactly wrong.
Trying to make him good.
There was very little chance of that. We only have one hope with Zariel, and that's because she put a fragment of her goodness inside that sword. There was nothing left good in that imp.
All right.
You can't really help somebody that doesn't want to be helped either, and he did not want help. He wanted help getting his promotions, but
it would take literal divine intervention of some sort to change his ways. You could have dunked him into the river Styx and made him a blank slate, or you could have tried hitting him over the head until his nature changed. And suddenly she has a look of inspiration as she reaches for her hammer.
No.
Look, I'm just saying, we could try it out.
No.
We have a lot
Trust
of
me,
healers
I've tried.
here.
It doesn't work. I've tried.
If anything, it makes things worse.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
By Lathander, put a helmet on him. Lulu kind of, butts in and is like, so, guys, I was thinking, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Where are you going?
Well,
So now is probably a time to figure out some sense of a plan that we're probably not going to follow in the next 3 hours, but I'm assuming Bell's out at this point.
Yeah, because we potentially have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, I don't really want to give that to him either.
What?
And if he gets pissed off, we may or may not have gone to Bell for help with Zariel, and he told us to come get these rods, which come to find out they're actually rods to some sort of weapon that I think is in the city.
What?
The Communion to Torm thing, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what those are for. Am I wrong?
Michael shows her the adamantine rods.
Anyway, he wanted those, and probably shouldn't give those to him, because it's Bell.
That much is fair. I'm just trying to understand how you people wind up with the key to a weapon, and she puts one of those rods in her bag.
Do you not know me at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
I should take the rest of them.
It's because
Ow.
people think that I'm too stupid to handle these things and that they can kill me. So I
Michael.
go off, I act the idiot, and then they let me have these things, or they get me to get these things, and I'm just like, no!
Okay,
Michael,
so
give me
we're
your
not
rod.
going to Bell. I agree with that much.
Well, we have a Death Knight who I'm sure would love to help us, since Zariel is probably still distracted with the demon I can't pronounce. If I try to pronounce it, I might summon something to my side at this point. I don't know.
Not unfair, actually.
So we could probably go see if he's still willing to help us. We have the Hidden Lord. We literally have a contract that actually doesn't have any downside, which
She asked to read the contract.
I give it.
Okay. You guys talk while I double check her stats.
So if it goes south, we have him as a backup. But the only problem is, like, when we're actually, if this actually works and we help Zariel, what do we do about the open throne? Do we care?
It's,
This contract
That's
says
the
he'll
thing.
help you kill Zariel.
If it comes to that. If nothing
She
else
puts the
works,
contract
then
in her bag.
I'm not good. I'm just gonna start calling you mom at this point.
She takes her hammer.
Kidding.
yeah, Michael actually stands between her and Trevor at that point. He's just like,
Like, that's going to stop me.
I stand behind Lulu.
I think that I'm using myself as the shield because I think that you would get much more pleasure beating me than him.
You
For
don't
one
know
thing,
her, do
I'm
you?
the one
Do
that
you
taught him
have
the sense
any
of-
plans that don't involve working with an archdevil?
Yes,
Yeah,
actually talking with her.
Well, if she's still fighting, go to whatever the fuck his name is. What if we helped her defeat him? I don't know if I don't.
Yeah, and if
That might
it's
get us. Go ahead.
There's
sorry.
a banging on your front door.
Michael goes down to open up the front door.
I thought we were.
Hello?
Do you actually open the door, or are you just asking hello?
No, he actually does open up the door. Hello?
Okay, there's a Death Knight standing in front of you.
Oh yay!
I take it you're here to take us to her.
I am here to see if you are ready to finish what we have started.
We are, we just don't have a plan. We might make it up as we go along. I know that scares you.
I have spent the last 100 years in this wretched state. I don't fear anything anymore. But going in
I like
without
him.
a plan is still foolhardy.
I agree. Do you know is she still fighting ogre guy?
I believe that battle is well underway. That's why I can be here now. Her attention is elsewhere.
From what you know of Zariel, if we helped her with that battle, would that gain us any favor?
Maybe once it would have.
Would it just be as like an insult now, I'm guessing?
It is hard to tell.
Oh.
You would be getting into a fight between a demon lord and an archdevil. Is that something you think that you could sway?
Potentially.
Well, it'd be kind of getting in the middle of a verbal argument between my brother and Victor, so I mean, win-win.
Hey, but think. It might actually end up with me getting tossed about and slammed somewhere.
He does look at you, and then he looks at the sword. And then he looks back at you, taking in the eyes and the wings.
Yeah, is there anything different about him seeing him with true sight?
No, he's a Death Knight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was going to kill Trevor.
He doesn't think before he touches things. Let's leave it at that.
No,
Then
I
would
do
those
think
of you who have the capability of strategic planning like to actually work on something, or are we just going to go and hope for the best when you hand that sword over to her?
if we could help with if we think that helping with the battle is going to be something to do and it might gain us favor, then we use the sword in order to cause the most amount of damage to the
battle
other
is almost endless there. Just everyone is gathering underneath the city, trying to claim it for their own. There are 2 other demon lords here, leading their armies.
Wait, can't the sword be used to break the chains on the city? I know we can't, we can't lift the city, but we could at least break the chains
I doubt
on it, right?
any of you are strong enough to break those chains.
Fair point.
But are you?
No. You would
Is
need...
she?
Zariel could if she so chose. You'd have a better chance getting Tiamat to do it. Or you could always just get Yagwe's pet to chew his way through them.
Yeah.
Yes, he would
loose
do
now,
that
isn't it?
if so prompted. It is said that
Wait,
he
that's
likes
actually-
to eat paladins, so if we coat them in paladin blood, he might chew through them.
Michael
not a
kind of
bad
looks a
idea.
bit squeamishly at Trevor and Zoriel.
Well, no, I mean, that's not a bad idea.
It is my understanding that he recently reappeared, so I don't recommend that any paladins in the area stand around for too long. He can smell them from miles away. Would you like to go to the Flying Citadel and risk your lives in an attempt to save Zariel?
Yes, I would.
I mean, that's why we're here, right, Lulu?
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
I love
Jeez.
you.
I knew that was coming. All right, let's do this.
So your plan is to just go straight to the flying fortress and
That
hoping for the
seems like
best.
a terrible plan.
Have you got a plan?
Is there a way to get our attention otherwise? Because jumping in the middle of a fight seems like a stupid idea, but I
As soon
don't
as
see any other idea.
the sword is unsheathed in her presence, she will notice you.
But is that a good thing? No, it can't be a good thing.
If she is able to refocus, she can exert her will on me, and then I am of no use. You have a limited time frame, and I thought you had spent your precious time until now planning to do something.
We had a plan. It then got tossed out because it usually involves me.
Michael, stop talking.
Please.
I'm not lying, Mel. Trevor, you talk with her. You actually have an emotional connect to people. Zoriel, you back him up because you're actually family in some small way to her. I'll distract, and if I get killed, don't bring me back. He hands over the sword to Trevor.
Trevor, do you want to attune to the sword?
No, because I don't want to unattune to anything that I'm attuned to.
Okay, Michael, you are still attuned to the sword then, even if it is not in your possession.
Oh, and that gives me all sorts of things. If it gets to the point of a fight, try to get the sword back to me. In the meantime, though, I'll run cover for you guys.
Zoriel will ask, why don't you just hold on to the sword? Because it's... Even if we get sworn by demons and devils, it's not like it's going to matter which one of us is holding it.
Do you want to hold it?
He looks at Zoriel. You have the ability to back up any hit you make with that thing with holy fire.
I prefer my hammer.
Okay.
I'm
Takes
not gonna
back
lie.
the
You
sword.
were
Let's
the
just-
ones who were here searching for the sword. You were the one who claimed it. It chose you.
Well, let's make sure that didn't choose wrong.
The dude's just, still snacking on some food that he created. Oh, this is still terrible. Why do I keep eating this?
Because, like me with marshmallows, you think something's going to come along that's good.
Okay, so
Lulu takes a
we
bite.
go
Yeah,
right-
this is bad. Why do you keep eating this? It doesn't get any better.
Are they just doing that while eating?
Yes. They take a bite and then they make a face and then they complain about it.
And then they take another bite.
Yes.
Oh god. So, Michael will actually just walk up to them and just take the food and pull it away very slowly and go, this is something on akin to a level that I would do. Let's just go right now.
Lulu says, okay. And she's... Does anybody want to resist her attempt to teleport them away?
Nope.
Okay.
I think we have a vague plan at this point.
That's better than no plan.
And she rolled pretty well. Everyone, including the Death Knight and what you didn't recognize in the background of his chariot that is pulled by Gorgons, suddenly appears before... Well, not directly before. We're going to say you're about 90 feet away from the city up above, the flying fortress. Zariel, who is crushing the skull of something very large. And, oh yeah, there's a massive battle going on everywhere else.
Michael
Zoriel
just
gets
says-
up onto her nightmare and says, well, are you ready to go?
Yep.
Yep.
Moon color, you mind?
Someone will get moon colored there. We'll say that, in some way, shape, or form, moon color will arrive with you.
I thought he came with. I thought he.
Yeah, he's there.
teleported with us.
I mean,
Okay.
that if you want to fly straight to Zariel, moon color will be there.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's fly
Okay.
straight up.
Okay.
Some people are riding, with somebody who can fly, in some way, shape, or form. All the group gets there. If you want to go straight to Zariel,
Wait, we actually have an interdimensional portal. We actually have a pocket dimension. We can stick the unicorn in and then bring him out once we get up there. Okay. Yeah.
Or you could have gone there to rest. But anyway, like I said, one way or another, everyone gets there. I'm not worried about the NPCs. I'm only worried about you guys.
Yeah. So let's get up there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
As soon as we land, Michael just looks to Trevor and goes, "You're the one that's good with talking with people."
Give me just a second to set the scene, though. The battle is raging all around you. Zariel coated in the blood of her enemies. A giant warhammer in one hand. The other missing is got a large flail connected to it. She's just finished crushing one creature. Looking just great and terrifying. You are now standing, not noticed by her, but you are within her presence. Now it's your time to do something. What will you do?
Shall I withdraw the sword then? That's an honest question, Trevor. Shall I withdraw the sword?
It'll get her attention better than shouting at her.
You've got seconds before people do notice you. I suggest you make your choice right now.
Michael pulls out the sword and unsheathes it and lifts it aloft.
The sword floats up into the air, glowing before Zariel. And she turns and looks at it and then you.
Yes.
The look in her eye, there's a few emotions, but she starts to take in the whole group. Alanthus, what is the meaning of this?
Belgium, that's all right. Begins with B.
We've come
and
to save you, or at least to heal you.
Who just says, say something better.
Say something better.
You gotta give Danny a second.
You've only got a second. Who's going to talk?
I know.
Olanthus will step forward, and then he kneels before Zariel. Lulu steps up and does the same before her old friend. The sword is sitting there. Someone say something.
Depends what
Oh, sorry. Go on, Trevor, go.
I'll walk up next to Lulu and take a quick kneel next to her.
You have 10 seconds as Zoriel is going to talk.
Michael steps forward and goes, "We have come a long way. We ourselves have made many mistakes. But one of the greatest things that we have done is come here to help you. Because you tried to help so many a long time ago, but that ended up hurting you. And one of the greatest things that it's done for us is to show us who we truly are. And for us to find some way of reconciling with ourselves, not only what we've done, but who we can be. And for great or for bad, we still have many choices to make. But the gift that you've given us through this is something that we hope that we can repay you through what we've done in bringing this back to you."
Lulu came to us wanting help to find her old friend. That's all she wanted. We couldn't say no to her.
Because you each spoke, I will let each one of you make a persuasion check.
Yeah, I'm great at those. bards.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at your 10.
Unless I get the 19 because I love Lulu so much.
Yeah, there's a reason I let each of you make the roll. That was your, that was the best way to handle it since you each said something. Zariel's trembling hand reaches toward the gleaming hilt of the sword. Her fingers brush against it, and she grimaces as the radiant light sears her flesh. As her grip tightens, she gasps in pain, and then speaks an oath through tears of confusion, sorrow, and dawning joy. I, Zariel, supplicate myself to the holy light of justice. If it should accept me, I vow to take up this blade once again in its service. The archdevil's words hang in the air for a silent moment as she glances up in agonizing uncertainty. Then Zariel is bathed in a brilliant wash of radiant light. Her her fiery halo disappears. Feathers burst forth from leathery wings. All her diabolical features vanish as her angelic form is restored. At the sight of this blessed transformation, Lulu gasps in delight and transforms into a celestial mammoth with golden fur, feathery wings, and gleaming tusk. The two of you, all mortals who witnessed this event, gain the blessing of health. You gain +2 to your constitution up to 22.
Oh.
I'll give you a moment to add that to your character sheet.
Is that temporary?
Permanent. You can gain up to 22 because of this on your constitution now.
I got 18.
I have 12. Yay!
Oh.
Oh god, how much health do I have now?
I'm going to let you figure that out. Well, with all this done, Zariel wings unfurl and she takes off straight up to the city of Etriel. You all have the ability to follow after her.
Oh yes.
Oh hell yeah!
And she flies up to the corrupted companion in the sky. Her shining sword held aloft, she strikes it, shattering it. And as the darkness that surrounds it fades away, you see a planetar is floating there. Another angel had been trapped inside this orb for 50 years. You are unable to take in any of the conversation between the two of them, but he nods to her, and then he flies underneath the city while she quickly goes through severing all the chains. The city of Etriel begins to rise up out of Avernus. If you wish to stay in Avernus for any reason whatsoever, you need to get off now.
Michael's pushing Trevor towards the city as best as he can.
I'm not staying in hell, and neither are you.
If anything jumps at you, I'm seriously making sure that you get onto that damn city.
God,
well, I assume that you guys were already, there on the city. You have wings. It's not hard for you to get there. As the city rises up out of Avernus, you see the hellscape slowly, actually rather quickly, fading away. And then all of a sudden you are in a nicely appointed, decorated office. You're sitting on comfortable chairs. In front of you, in a rather nice suit, holding a champagne glass filled with an amber-colored liquid, is Asmodeus. Would you like some ambrosia?
I'm good, thank you.
It's only you two there, by the way.
We've messed something up a little bit for you, haven't we?
He's just sort of gazing at the. I love the color. It reminds me of the old days. Are you sure you wouldn't like some?
No thanks.
No, I'm good. I mean, I'm
To
pretty
address
sure it's
your
probably.
question, I have brought you here to offer you a unique opportunity. As you have helped to unseat the present ruler of one of my realms, it needs someone to take up that mantle. And it is within my power to undo your current affliction, to grant you greater power than any mortal could ever dream of.
I'm good.
Wait,
I
you
think
mean
Bells-
rule hell? Or this layer, anyway?
Yes. Think about it, Mr. Nestor. You could outdo your brother. You could be the general who protects all mortals from the invasion of the demonic horde.
Trevor, think on it for a while. Because
Or you, Mr. Bradmore. What could you do? How much good could you do with the literal armies of hell at your disposal? You could literally wage war against all those corrupt gods who have been interfering in the mortal plane for their own benefit.
as much as at one point that would have been so tempting for me to take, no. I'm sorry. I think Beelzebub would be a very good ruler of hell, or at least this
I
level.
was somebody else.
Oh, who were you thinking?
Well, I appreciate the offer, but for me, it's never been about outshining my brother.
Are you sure
But
about that?
Never has been.
Well, I just thought I would offer. Good luck to you.
Good luck to you.
And suddenly you are back on Etriel, rising as it rises out of
God
Avernus.
damn it, Andy.
Hey, he made the offer. You both said no.
Yeah, but you didn't
He's
give
got
us a chance
things to
answer,
do.
God damn it.
And suddenly you smell the fresh air as the scent of brimstone is washed away. The river
Oh, is that what air smells like?
The river is shining golden, stretching across Etriel's from Etriel to Baldur's Gate and the sea beyond. The scent of the morning dew cuts through the odor of smoke, brimstone, and the rot that clings to Etriel's stones. Slowly the people make their way out from their hiding places to stand in the light of the mortal world once again. All eyes focus on Zariel where she stands, sword in hand. The planetar that raised Etriel out of Avernus kneels before her. Lulu nudges Zariel and then gestures towards you all with her trunk. Zariel strides before you and bows her head in solemn gratitude. This dark chapter in my has come to an end at last, and a brighter end than I ever dared to hope for. Thank you. Your selflessness will live on in my memory forever. And in mine, says Lulu. Zariel
Is
turns
Lulu close
somber
by?
once more and says, "You have made an enemy of Asmodeus this day. We have that in common now. I wish you strength and good fortune, and if you ever have need of my power," she holds one golden feather out to you. "You may just hold this feather aloft and invoke my name, and I shall come to your aid."
I'll reach up for it.
Okay. This will allow you to cast Planar Ally, calling Zariel to you for 1 hour.
Oh my.
With her gift given, Zariel inclines her head, unfurls her wings, and soars into the sky. Lulu will wrap you all up in her massive trunk and then lets you go with a smile and says, "We'll see each other again someday." And then the golden mammoth flaps her wings and soars into the sky. She watched the silhouettes dwindle into the red sun, the red sky as the sun is setting.
So, brace you back home?
There's a temple here I want to go to first.
Sure. And then we race. Because we've both got wings now.
Do we even know where we are location-wise besides in the city?
You know roughly. I mean, this is not a continent you grew up on.
Right, okay. So, but I did realize something, Andy.
Yes.
Freeing the city was the task that Trevor was given.
Yeah.
Like a really long time ago. Like his whole reason for actually being in hell, besides helping Michael, was, hey, go help this city.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Completed that. Yeah, so there's also the Temple to Torm here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go there.
Okay. Someone can easily guide you there. And this is what makes this temple so special is that through the devotion of its congregation over the years, it actually has a psychic link to his realm. People can more easily commune with him in this place.
I think communing is what I would like to do.
Okay.
Because I don't remember, where did I get that task from? Was it from Zoriel?
No, it wasn't from Zoriel, and I'm just bringing up a blank map because we don't need that one anymore. It was more or less some dreams that you were having.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, I remember now.
But you enter into the temple, and you feel, you feel welcome here. This is a place that you belong.
This is a nice change. So yeah, I would just go commune that it was done, I guess.
You can easily sense the amusement as you don't hear the response, but you feel the response. Obviously. Well done.
It's like talking to Zoria.
Oh, and she did join you on your way here. And as you look at your mentor, you notice that there is some changes about her as well. She no longer has horns.
That helped you too, didn't it?
What are you talking about?
You don't have.
She starts nosing for the first time and grabs a mirror out of her bag and realizes that she's been changed into an Aasimar. Well, this is going to take some getting used to.
Looks good on you.
If she punches you in this temple, so help me.
She's still kind of marveling at the fact that she's very different. She met her great-grandmother, saw her changed, and this is a lot for her. She's been unusually quiet.
So do you regret taking me on as a student yet?
Well, I did that 5 minutes after I met you. She says it's never looking away from the mirror and
You
don't think I've changed that much.
Nope. Just like he
Yeah.
hasn't changed that much.
Michael spreads out his wings.
We've all
Yeah,
gone through
yeah.
some physical changes. Let's wait and see how much you've actually grown.
I can actually recognize the fact when I'm being detrimental. That is actually huge growth.
Well, that
I
remains
hope
to
so.
be seen as she walks up to you. But then she hugs you both. But you did help me fulfill a lifelong quest. I'm just glad that I could be there for it.
Well, I wasn't going to leave you
But
out
then
of
she
something
turns
like
to
that.
you, Trevor, and says, "But if you forget how you smite again, I don't care where you are, I will appear there and I will smack you in the head."
Actually, about that, Zariel, I have some thoughts. Maybe I
Uh-oh.
should. Not all of my thoughts are bad ones.
At least you're
After,
thinking.
thank you. I think after everything that happened, maybe I should reevaluate my training. Cause yeah, I'm a pretty good fighter. I know how to hit things, but I don't know. I feel like seeing what happened with Zariel made me think that if something like her can be redeemed, maybe someone like my brother can too.
It's going to take a lot of insight for your brother to choose that path himself.
True.
Mortals can change more easily than an immortal being can. And if anyone is willing to hit their head against a mountain until it crumbles, it's probably you.
And I'll be right beside, getting my face bloody the entire time.
I absolutely believe that.
I didn't have family, but
Well,
he
you
is
do
mine.
now.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah, we're kind of stuck with each other at this point. Sorry.
Okay, this is getting far too sappy for me. I am going to go now before you two start blubbering. She's saying this with a grin.
But I wanted your thought on something, Zariel, before we leave.
You are ruining my dramatic goodbye.
Well, you're gonna have to let me ruin it. Teacher.
Don't go telling people I'm responsible for you.
Well, I mean, you kind of are, or you will be. Because, well, I think I finally figured out who I want to follow.
Okay.
It's probably weird to want to follow an angel, but feels right.
And Trevor, when you say those words, everyone else freezes. And
Did I break something?
Zariel is suddenly standing before you.
Oh, God.
And she looks at you meaningfully and says, "You've already seen the result of what happened when people chose to follow me once before. I am not worthy of that kind of admiration or devotion.
Maybe
I led
not.
so many to their inevitable doom. Cursed them for 100 years just for deciding to follow me into a hopeless battle.
But you did that with good intention. People, demons and such, destroyed people you swore to protect.
Good intentions are not enough. Wisdom must
True.
be the deciding factor."
I would say
You're frozen.
But you
Yeah,
But
shut
you
up,
didn't-
Michael.
didn't take Asmodeus's offer with evil intentions. You
No.
took it to protect things. And, I mean, yes, you fell, but you rose from that.
Only thanks to you. She lays a hand on your shoulder and says, but it is not my place to deny any mortal their choice. Not after all that I have done. And if this is yours, then I will respect it, and I will do my best to live up to what you are offering. To live up to the commitment that you are making.
You're literally the embodiment of hope, and I have to have that. If not for me, then for the person I care about.
She smiles at you, and suddenly you are engulfed in radiant flame.
Oh God.
And as Zoriel and Michael are just staring at you, you become a full paladin of Zariel.
Oh my.
And we just lost your video right as it was getting good.
I had to turn it off for a second.
Oh, is somebody cutting onions in the room?
Fucking onion ninja bastards.
Michael, you don't exactly see a difference outside of the fact that your friend suddenly glowed.
Sorry, I thought.
Nope, that's different. That's hugely different. I still can't say that it is though because I'm frozen in place.
No, this is what you perceived. You didn't, for you, that time, that whole conversation, that you didn't see any of that. That was her frozen in time. For you, one moment Trevor is talking, and then all of a sudden he glows brightly.
Whoa.
You're gonna do good, kid.
I hope so.
Zoriel's just looking at you a little bit confused. If you tell me that you're going to start using illusions like some stuck-up bard, I am going to smack you.
It's not an illusion. It's.
Would you
what we're
stay
seeing.
out of this? I know what it was. I am trying to be a gruff, commanding teacher right now, and you are ruining it.
Then smack me
Go-
upside the head
go
with
stand
2
in the
fingers.
corner.
And say, shut up.
You just got told to go in the corner.
He does not go in the corner.
But Zoriel just nods to you and says, remember to actually use Smite. It's pretty powerful.
I figured that out.
Yeah, let's actually see if you do. But then she turns and walks away.
Next time I promise
I didn't
won't
tell
be
you to
so
leave the
bad.
corner yet.
I like her.
Me too.
And
So-
the dude's just over there eating oats. You know, that's what I call it when he casts create food. Like, yeah, this has absolutely no flavor to it.
Well, that's because you're eating oats. They don't taste like anything.
Yeah. Mooncolor will
You
walk
can-
up to you and says, I owe you two both a great deal. Well, not you, saying, looking at Michael. Turns to try.
I was
I
about
owe
to say
you
that.
a
I was
great
an
deal.
asshole.
And you
Michael,
have my
shut up.
thanks. But now that I am back, it is time for me to return to nature where I belong.
If you need some place to go, I know of a druid grove that could probably benefit from.
I think that kind of looks up. I think there are other places that can use my help. Something feels off right now. I'm not sure what it is, but a druid grove already has a protector.
That's fair.
There are places that could use my aid. But again, I owe you more than I could ever repay.
Don't worry about it.
And he kind of nods to you and he will trot off.
Wait,
You are
Michael.
just ruining everybody's exit today. What?
Michael holds up a marshmallow.
I'm more of a oats person, actually.
He points to
And
points
the
to
dude
you.
is just like, no, thank you. I think I will go and find some actual grass and things that have more flavor to them than oats. He's like,
Before you go, Moon Color, could I ask a favor of you?
anything.
I was wondering if I could have a hair from your mane. It's for somebody.
He'll nod and allows you to collect a. He'll let you have a few.
Okay.
And that he says, "Be well, my friends."
You too. Don't stab anybody.
No
Unless they're-
promises.
All right, oh, right. I'm gonna miss her.
I know. We've got a home to save now.
Yeah, who knows what happened? How long have we been gone?
Oh, could be anywhere from a couple of days, a few hours, years.
I hope not years.
I'll let you make a wisdom check while you're in the Temple of Torm.
Oh God. +0. It's gonna be great. Oh.
Trevor,
Yay.
with
Wow.
your new, stronger connection to the divine than ever before, you know that time flows the same in Avernus as it does anywhere else.
Oh. I will pass on this information.
So for you guys,
that's still a really long time.
it has been less than a month that you've been gone.
Well, what do you think? Should we figure out a way where we are and how to get home? Because who knows what the hell's happened. Tech.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's do that. It is going to be very interesting once we get back.
Hopefully it's a good thing.
I think one of the elfin airships is around here. We could rent that out, and that might make us there, get us there quicker.
You can fly.
You can't, though, for very long.
And technically, he can only fly as far as he can travel in a day.
True.
A bad idea to do that over the ocean.
Yeah.
Michael was logical for once.
Give yourself a
like
plot
the
point for that. And then you each get 5 more for completing Descent into Avernus. So I take it you're back out in the city where people are rejoicing. They don't have many supplies left after a month in Avernus trying, fending off the devils and the demons. But
Right.
what they have is being used to celebrate.
Hey, dude.
Hmm?
I did.
Are you talking to
You
the
think so?
dude or a random dude?
No, the dude.
Okay.
Hey, dude.
Yeah.
Why don't you show them how to party?
Because any food that I can make is just going to taste bland, but I guess they need it right about now. And he starts handing out, using his magic to create food for people, just so they got something to eat.
Michael starts walking towards the port. Pulls out his lute and
If we can,
starts tuning in.
Make a performance check.
To 21.
Okay. So, yeah, people are celebrating around you, and it's a lively night. Well, actually, all right. Trevor, I want you to make a perception check while he's playing music.
Okay.
Bear in mind, Michael's
Okay.
walking towards the port as he's playing, so he's like looking out for a ship that he can rent to get out of here and towards home.
Okay, I'll let you make a perception check while you're playing, but I'm going to say it's a disadvantage because, yeah, you're more focused on playing. Trevor, you're just not sure what time of day it is because the sky is just red. You don't know if the sun's coming up, sun's going down. But you can spend the day there. Like I said, a lot of people are, just trying to put things back together while the demons and devils did some structural damage. It was mostly people just hiding wherever they could, and it's going to take them a couple of days to just try to get back and sort things out. But there are no boats that are really heading towards your continent, because you could take something, go downriver. You could eventually get to Waterdeep, which has access to the ocean and much bigger ships. I'm just going to let you know that you're looking at like a 5-month journey by boat. That's assuming that you don't run into anything to eat your ship.
Michael, can you teleport?
Not that far.
Do we know where we are? Or, like, what continent are we on?
I don't know the exact name of it. It's
okay.
But it's the continent where Waterdeep is, and I'm sure it has a name. I just don't know it.
Faerun.
Okay.
The continent of Faerun.
Okay. Yeah, you're on Faerun.
Okay.
And it will take you months to travel by boat to get back home. If you have access to teleportation circle, you used to live in a house with a teleport circle, and I would say you would know the combination to get there.
We could find a teleportation circle. Let's go find a teleportation circle. I don't want to spend 5 months dealing with seasickness. I hate boats. I would go on an airship, but I hate boats.
Okay, I forget what level magic that is. Let me try to get a pricing range for it. I'm going to say, especially because of the aid you have offered, you will find someone who is able to open up a portal. Let's just see what they know how to do. Yeah, they can get you back home if that is your choice. And
like the actual city?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a public teleportation circle. It was usually guarded, for obvious reasons, but he's able to, we're going to say that he can open up a portal that will send you straight there if that is your choice.
That sounds fantastic.
Okay.
Yay.
And of course, this is all with, his undying thanks. And, so after,
Thanks so much.
Michael has, played for a little while, he opens up the portal and sends you back home. And that's when you immediately notice something is terribly, terribly wrong.
Oh, good. Wait.
As you walk out into the broken city, and I don't just mean like walls are broken. I mean, you look in the distance and you see that you are on an island, and it may only be 50 feet of water between you and the next plot of land, but the city, the land has been shattered. And on a broken statue holding a short sword in one hand, there's a were-rat who turns towards you and snarls.
I say the name of the were-rat kid that we used to deal with, like,
Tavi.
quizzically. Yeah, Tavi, is that you?
He kind of looks at you. What are you doing here?
We've been gone for a while. What the hell happened?
You should have stayed gone.
What happened?
The world ended, you idiot. What do you think happened? Anytime adventurers come around, bad things happen. This is...
Tavi. Just... We're here. We didn't know anything was going on. What happened?
Of course you didn't know
Kind of in
anything was
hell.
going wrong, because if it doesn't involve you personally, why would you care? And he hops off and starts to walk away.
We were stuck in another dimension. We were in a hell. Like
The
literal
rest
hell.
of us are in hell. People are dying. Something came up out of the ground and shattered everything.
Fuck.
And that's when you notice that the entire sky here is also red. As if a volcano were going off in the distance.
Shit, Tavi? Did it come from underneath the city?
Not directly. But the entire continent was broken apart when something came out. And then giant flying birds, flaming birds, flew across the sky. Everything is going wrong. People are dying everywhere.
We'll fix this. You just grab yours and get safe. And if you find anybody else that you want to save them as well. Michael just hands
It's
over
been like
180.
this for weeks. You think I need you to help me? You know what? Just go wherever it is you came from. Don't bother with anybody here, because why do adventurers ever care about anyone but filling their pockets with gold? Guess what? Nobody around here needs their gold. You can go ransack every house.
Tavi, forget him. This is my home too. If I knew what was happening, I would have came back in a moment.
He just kind of glares at you and puts his sword away as he resumes his human form and just walks away.
So either the Iron Duke's done something, Victor's come back, or something else has happened.
Atticus didn't. He's not. You might think he's that strong, but I doubt it.
I wouldn't put anything past Atticus and his ability to bargain with any.
Fair. I use sending to Randolph.
Okay.
Just do, where are you?
Where have you been? Everything exploded and we assumed that you died.
I just say out loud, either he sounds pissed off or he's actually worried. No, he's pissed off.
If he's pissed off, then me using sending would not help anything right now.
Well, I asked where he was and he didn't give me an answer, just that we thought you were dead. No.
Well, that actually might be
in retrospect for his part, he probably should have offered more information, but that was literally the shocked response.
If you have the ability to give him another sending message, I would do so, because that actually sounds like brotherly concern.
I can only use it once a day. The kobold didn't like me that much.
Michael heads over his loot to Trevor. Attune to this real quick.
That's not a paladin's. Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, Trevor, you are not able to attune to the loot. Is a bard-only item.
Oh, okay.
Oh!
I don't think message is a paladin spell. So I don't.
Michael takes the loot and then just takes the loot back and then uses it to cast sending to ask Randolph, where are you?
Oh, you're still alive.
A second sending spell, this time from my actual spell pool, goes, yes, I am. Where are you?
Is Trevor okay? Where has he been?
Be honest.
My God. He actually is caring about you. He's wondering if you're okay and where you've been.
I guarantee you he's just furious that I wasn't here.
That's possible,
Maybe.
yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of doubting that, but I'm guessing Michael's repeating all of this for me.
I've only got the ability to say anything in like 25 words or less, so I'm just pretty much going. This next
We were
sentence
trapped in
goes,
hell. We're back now, basically.
where are you at the end of that?
Okay. Tell Trevor to stay safe.
Could you repeat that?
The response is, tell Trevor to stay safe.
Oh, fuck, he's gonna die. He's
It's
told me
almost
to
like
tell
you're
you
asking questions to someone that hates you.
What do you
He
mean
said-
he's gonna die? What is happening? Where
He's
is my brother?
He's told me to tell you to stay safe.
Fucking asshole. I hope you heard that somehow.
And
I guess
the dude is just, looking around. It's like, yeah, things are really, really weird.
Michael just looks a bit shocked. How are you? I thought you were back in... Never mind. What do you see?
I see, and he describes the landscape to you. There's shattered buildings. It looks like an earthquake, and I'm pretty sure there wasn't an island, right over there. And this place used to be bigger, and the sky looks like, well, it looks like the place we were just at. And why did you not think I would be here? I mean, I didn't want to stay in hell. I don't even know how I got there.
No, I mean, I thought you were back in the city. Not Avernus, but in the city.
Well, they opened up a portal and I walked through. No, I wasn't supposed to come along. No.
of course you were supposed to
I
come
can
along.
go. I mean, I can set up a recall spell somewhere. Actually, no, I didn't set one up before I left. If I had, then I could
Dude,
go
we would
back.
love you to stay with us.
Oh, well, I mean, until some of your other friends show up, sure. But still, I should probably set up a recall location. That would have really have come in handy before.
Bell Tower?
Oh, no, I didn't want to set up any recall locations there. I didn't want to be there. Why would I want to go back there? I'm going to set up, I'm
Bell
gonna set
Tower
up this
here.
place as a recall location right now.
While they're having this discussion, I'm going to start making my way, I don't know, wherever someplace used to be.
Okay, you go
Is
someplace.
this traversable?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what you're seeing is a result of a humongous earthquake that literally cracked the land.
Okay.
I don't think I brought the proper map in. Let me see if I can find it and drop it into chat right quick, because I'd set something up and I didn't know we were going to get here this fast. So I didn't put it into the maps here. So,
Yeah, we went through that like super fucking fast.
I mean, if you guys want to talk about anything, 'cause I'm literally just like searching through my folders because I know I had it, but I don't know where I had it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
don't wait on
Even though
me.
it's like all with everything like being destroyed, can we still figure out like where parts of the city used to be?
Yes.
Is there anything that's still standing, or is it just
I mean,
gone?
there's plenty of buildings still standing. It's just like the
Okay.
wall that surrounded the city, it's been ripped in half because the land
Okay.
itself moved.
Okay. Then I am going to go find, or try to find Trevor's lady friend.
Michael's gonna try and find our demi-lich.
Okay,
Simpson's already left. Remember we warned him about them searching the sewers? So he grabbed his cats and left.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was a while ago.
yeah, because you remember somebody went and told the guard that there was a horrible monster in the sewers, so they started searching the sewers.
Yeah, Trevor.
I fail to see why that's a bad thing. He started becoming a mob boss for a drug industry.
You're
You're
Michael
the one that
had
pissed
to-
it off to me. Do not turn this
Michael-
on me. You are the one that pissed it off in the first place. I told you
Actually,
to leave it
no.
be, but no, I want to fling a spell at it.
No, Michael didn't fling the spell at it. That was the giant wolf cleric.
Yes.
Michael actually was of the mindset of we need to leave this thing be as well because I don't want to eat. I don't want to be eaten tonight, and this thing's not really
Well,
done anything.
maybe he'll hear me through the ether. I should have reported it when we first found the fucking thing.
Okay, I'm not able to find the map. I'll have to locate it later. But for the
That's
sake of, like, if you were to fly up into the air, you would see the entire continent is now a series of small islands.
What has the power to do this besides something that our dear friend would have? I think it's
God,
Victor.
I don't know.
I think it's Victor.
Maybe?
Either Victor or somehow the Iron Duke managed to get a hold of something, or
I-
your
I don't
brother's
see
legion.
Atticus doing this.
I don't really
Listen,
put anything past Atticus. The guy has a mindset of
Hold
the
on.
strong
You were going to say
survive.
something else?
I was going to say, or your brother just had a really off day.
Yeah, I'm going to leave you in silence to think about that while I go try to find my fiance.
Okay. The dude is says he'll catch up with you. He's going to go talk to some people. All right. So Trevor, let's call it I'll let you do persuasion to ask around. You're trying to find somebody, so you got to figure out where everybody went. Okay.
That's not bad.
You can you've talked to a few people. They're I mean, the city isn't evacuated, but at the same time, it's people got out of town if they could. So you were able to find out, that she is her family home is still standing, and that she is there.
Okay. I'm going there.
Okay.
So,
So you
whatever
just like
my-
go up and knock on the door.
Yes.
Okay. When she flings it open, she's startled, to say the least. I thought you died.
Not yet.
And she flings her arms around you. So many people died, and anyone who's missing, we just had to figure that they were dead.
I wish I was here. I'm sorry.
Then you
I was
probably would have
stuck somewhere.
died with everybody else. It was like everything started shaking, and then something just rose straight out of the ground, and
Did anybody see what it was?
it was a titan. It was 30 feet tall and made of stone and earth, and
That sounds wonderful.
then flaming birds burst out of the mountains. We didn't even think it was a volcano, but apparently it was a volcano. or something was living under it, and now it's a volcano. Everything is just destroyed. Nobody can talk to anybody because, well, ships aren't coming around. Everybody got out of town, and whatever it is, it seems to be spreading.
Your mom and brother all right?
Yes, they're okay. It's just that there's nothing left. There's people are having to fend for themselves, and fortunately, some are banding together to try to rebuild as much as possible. But others are taking to looting and robbing everything.
What about Randolph and the Black Hand? Where are they?
I don't know. They were all away at the battles, and no one came back. We assumed that they must have been swallowed up by whatever it was. Every now and then
Okay.
a soldier comes back, but they're clearly not under anybody's command anymore.
Okay. I know some place that's mostly safe. If I can figure out a quick way to get you three there, I'm gonna have you go there.
Well, we're relatively safe here. We do have some defenses here. I mean, it's our home. It's strong. It's secure, and we still have friends that are here. It's just that we're having to try to. It's not like we have a business. It's not like we need gold anyway. We're just trying to work with the people who stayed.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go see what else I can find out. See if there's anything we could do. This is Michael, by the way.
I didn't think he came over.
Oh, I thought he did. My bad.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Michael's just kind of like going throughout the city, seeing the devastation, trying to figure out how he can help anyone.
Well, most of the people you see, this is, like for them, it's been a couple of weeks since this happened. So, it's like if people are trying to get, some of them are working on getting some farms together. There's fishing. It's just that the life they had was destroyed. Now they're picking up the pieces. So,
Okay.
unfortunately, you coming along and playing music isn't really going to alter.
He's not playing music.
I
He's
know.
not playing
I know what you're saying, but it's not like they're not underneath rubble right now. Anyone who is underneath the rubble is long dead. So this isn't where you can go around and start healing people. If they're still alive, they're as healed as they're going to be.
Okay.
It's more like he'll go through, try to knit nets as best as he can, and then move on to the next area and try putting together clothing packages for people and just doing what
Again,
he can.
they've already scavenged their belongings. So, like, they have clothes, they have nets. They're just trying to gather enough food for the day situation.
Okay.
Like this is not a refuge. This is not a situation where you can go and you can scavenge for goods. Yes, but they've already done that. Like, I'm not trying to take away your attempts to do good. I'm just saying that this isn't a situation where, unless they're being accosted by somebody, they don't need random help.
That's fair.
Now, this is a section of where there were enough people with enough strength who decided to come together to protect what they had. That's sort of what Tavi was doing, was he's protecting his small group. So unless you see somebody robbing somebody else, the most you can do is find out what has happened. And most people have the same thing. The world just exploded around them.
Yeah, Michael's gonna fly up to the top of the city then and just start scanning out across what he can see of the continent.
Okay, give me a perception check with advantage because you're up in the air. Okay. Like I said, it's quite literally, once a whole continent, like I said, now a series of islands. You see some people in small boats, but the larger boats long gone. And with that, you actually see something that must have been underground at one point, but it's an obvious structure, like as if someone had yanked the wall off of it. And we're talking like 100 feet underground situation. This is literally like there's a cliff face. Someone took, and part of the wall is in the chunk of land 100 feet away.
Okay, I'm gonna go find Trevor and tell him about that then.
Okay. And
Now I'll do the poll. Oh, this is Michael, by the way.
oh, and she sees, Michael with silver eyes and wings and says, "Hi." And guys, this might
Hi.
also be a good opportunity for us to take a 5-minute break and let you guys digest as we enter the new arc, a session earlier than I thought. Welcome, everyone, to Rise of the Titans. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
to worry about my spells right now?
I mean, if you can get them together, sure, go ahead. But we're going to continue the game until then.
Okay.
So I mean, if you've got a couple of minutes, unless you guys just break into a fight right away, I don't know what you're going to do. I usually assume you're going to try to kill everybody. So
I'll look them up if I need. Well, you know the 3rd level spell I'm going to take anyway. Oh wait, no, I can get the greater one.
anyway,
so
we're back now, and you've just reconnected with your group. This is where you say things, do stuff.
I'm trying to find Trevor right now and to tell him told Trevor exactly what I've seen. And now with the fiance gawking at me, I'm just pretty much like, "Hi, Trevor. There's a big underground building we need to go check out."
Great.
So, yeah. Shall we?
I guess. I'll say my goodbyes and whatever.
Mm-hmm. So he just tells you, be safe.
I'll be back.
Michael will start just flying and try and find the dude to put the dude inside of the pocket dimension.
You guys
that way he
have
can.
some winged boots he can wear.
Oh, we do. Yeah. Okay. Let's give him those.
So yeah, he'll just wear the winged boots for now, because Trevor probably needs the broom of flying if his wings haven't had time to recharge.
Let's find out. Oh, it's only been an hour, so I can recharge.
Yeah.
Then I'll re-roll for them this time.
Yeah. So basically,
2 hours,
everyone's got the capability of flying right now.
Cool.
So yeah, that's one of the interesting things that's happened.
What are we looking for now? What did you see?
There's a giant underground building that looks like as if the top has just been ripped off of it and tossed aside.
No, just one wall.
Oh, just one wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this thing was 100 foot underground until the ground was moved somewhere else.
Yeah. So somebody opened this thing up, and that potentially is what cracked the entire con.
Okay, then.
So we're going over there to check out, see if there's any evidence that we can find, and get any evidence that we can.
Okay, so you guys are just going to fly on over there.
Yeah.
All right. It is going to take just a little bit to get there. While I am pulling up stuff. And how far are you able to fly with your wings, Trevor, or how long do they stay out?
I believe they last for an hour. Let me check.
Oh, anyway.
1 hour.
Okay. So yeah, we'll say that it's probably going to take right up until that. Basically, your wings are going to be drained by the time you get there.
Okay. Then just another hour until I can use them again.
Okay. And
hello, cat.
Obviously, I don't have maps for this, so we're going, continue theater of the mind style. But you are looking at, it's a stone building, and if you look to the other side, like the 100 feet away in the ocean, you see the other part of the building, which apparently was, some corridors leading somewhere else. And the room you're in, It's got various sigils. There are obviously some magical things around. There are some ever burning torches. There is apparently a sarcophagus in the middle that is very heavily decorated with a golden skull with a lot of gems around it. A grave robber's dream.
Did I was there any like? Sorry. Did we know about like an underground ruin or something, or is this just something that suddenly popped up out of nowhere?
Well, I mean, it wasn't on any of the maps before. Like I said, 100 foot underground, and not
Yeah.
in the middle
Well,
of the city. It's this would have been outside the city by a little bit. This was probably under the mountains at one time.
If you take an archaeological record, soil deposits at about a couple of inches every few years. So in order for it to be this big and then completely buried with a mountain, it either had to have been built there before, as the mountain was stretching up out of the tectonic plates, or this thing is just centuries upon centuries old.
well, the continent itself is centuries upon centuries old, so maybe this is like a first civilization or something.
Like a
I
progenitor?
I don't know, but I mean, I know my people. We weren't the original ones here. We came here.
Our people. I'm human too. I was, or at least I was. I don't know
I mean,
what
the
I am.
founders of Wildom, genius.
Okay. Yeah. So...
I go look at the sarcophagus.
Okay.
I'm not touching anything. I just want to look.
Okay. Sure. You can make perception or investigation, whichever one it is you want to do.
I am better at perception.
Okay. It's a sarcophagus with a lot of, jewel decorations on it. The elaborate gold skull with some gems all around it is pretty prominent.
Is there anything like a name plaque or any symbols that might be a language or something? Or is there anything like that in this room, I should ask? Or does this just look like a tomb?
I'm going to say that there's nothing that you recognize as any words you can read that you would understand.
Okay.
Michael, with your investigation, you're getting sort of the same thing. Like, I'm going to say this is obviously something that was set up by someone who knew a lot about magic, but you're not detecting any obvious magical glyphs or anything active.
Is the Great Sword of Secret Doors glowing?
No, it is not.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about. Keep forgetting about that. I'm a terrible paladin.
Yes, you are. You are a very terrible paladin.
I didn't say that out loud. Shut up.
I'm going to say that this again. It looks like maybe a wizard's tower, a wizard's laboratory, or some sort of temple. I mean, all you can say for sure is until until it got exposed, there's probably nobody here in a very long time. And the fact that no one has pried the gems out yet means no one's been here in a long time. Or at least they got vaporized.
Is there anything different about the ethereal plane about this area, around this area as well?
Not really. I mean, it's what you would always see in ethereal plane is, there are some creatures that live there that don't interact with your reality, but nothing that seems to especially be drawn to this place.
Okay. So,
Wouldn't be able to attack
and there's
them anyway.
no invisible creatures, no invisible objects?
No, there are no illusions or anything. There are there are other rooms that are attached to this place, but the room you're in, Other than being really well decorated and the sarcophagus in the middle, there's just not much. Now, unless you want to go around and start pressing on gems to see what they do.
I don't really
Michael will
wanna do
press
it,
one of the gems very lightly.
It's a solid gem. And you can obviously see the top, where the sarcophagus can be open, but you're pretty sure that's just brute force.
I mean, do we want to open it to potentially piss off an ancient magical thing that's been sleeping for who knows how long?
From what I gathered talking to people, something pissed off that's been sleeping for a long time's already woken up. I honestly
Fair
don't see
point.
how you can make that any worse.
You know what? Fair point.
Michael just kind of like looks, goes, "Yeah, fair point," while pointing at the giant hole in the side of the building.
So I'm
So,
guessing
yeah,
pushing the tomb open?
Yeah, I'm helping you.
Okay.
Okay.
In that
Okay,
case,
you Angel Man, you can stand up front. I'll push from the side.
okay. Make if Michael's going to help you, then you can make a strength at advantage.
I'm happy with that 18.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of effort, but you get the sarcophagus. You start to push it out. About halfway, dark smoke starts pouring out of it.
Okay, maybe that's worse.
Pull it close, pull it close, pull it close.
Yeah, it's a little late for that. So as the smoke starts to gather above the sarcophagus, it starts to take on the form of a person in a cloak. And as it turns around, you see the floating skull. Who dares disturb my tomb? Who the hell broke the wall? What did you people do?
Sorry.
We're trying
my
to figure
God,
that out. We were wondering if you could help us.
Half of my my lab was over there on that side. This is...
Oh, that's where the lab is. Wait, you have a
Who
lab?
are you? What are you
Who
doing?
are you?
I'm
I
Michael
live here, so
Bradmore.
my question goes first. Who are you?
I'm
Trevor
Michael
Bradmore.
Bradmore. I'm Michael Bradmore. That is, as Trevor has just did. He's Trevor. And
This is dude.
we were wondering if you could answer that.
Answer what?
What happened?
I was in the sarcophagus. I don't get remote scrying in there. I was asleep until somebody opened up, ripped out my wall.
We didn't do that. So who are you?
You seriously, you don't know.
No.
No. Why would I ask you if I didn't know?
And his smoky body seems to flare out. I am the great and powerful Demilich. Dwight.
Uh-huh.
Dwight?
Dwight?
That's actually a pretty cool name.
Thank you.
Okay, cool, Dwight. Did you happen to have anything gigantic and titanic that could tear apart a continent if it got out?
Well, yeah, I built this place over the Great Seal that was keeping some of the Titans asleep. That's actually why I am here. I was supposed to guard it, and then I decided, after 4,000 years, I thought it was fairly safe, and I thought I would sleep for a while. I had some things going on that needed to take a while, and oh my God, did you release the Titans?
No, we didn't.
We've been in hell for the past
That would
month.
explain my wall, which, by the way, I now see wasn't actually removed. The land was removed. Who messed with the Great Seal?
I don't
We're
know.
sure-
You know what? It was probably Victor.
We're thinking it was Victor. Or at least
That makes a whole lot of
he
sense,
calls
actually.
himself.
Okay, you're kind of talking like I know who Victor is.
Psycho means that kind of worships Vecna, I think.
Oh,
Wait,
not,
does Trevor know that?
No, he from what I can gather, this guy worships nobody. Wants everything, kind kind of destroyed so that it can then be rebuilt.
Okay,
And
yeah,
what do you do
releasing the
that
Titans
way?
would be a great way to destroy everything. It's kind of what they do.
So, how do you put them back?
Well, beating them until they're dead is a good way. I mean, because they're Titans, they don't exactly die. They just sort of, wait to come back. Takes them a long time, so killing them is a good way. Or, you can stop the rest of them from getting out. That would also help. How
do we
many
get
are
last?
released so far?
So far, we only know something that looks like a volcano and a bunch of flaming birds.
Okay, the bird would be the Phoenix. The Titan of Earth, I forget his name. I didn't really pay attention. They just told me to stay here and make sure nobody messed with the seal.
Oh,
I am not taking responsibility for that, by the way.
Michael turns to Trevor and then just goes, "Is this what I'm like? Is this what I'm like?"
Oh, yeah.
Think on that for a minute.
Oh my god! No wonder everybody wants to kill me.
And somehow we're still friends.
I love you! You are a saint!
Do not hug me.
I'm not hugging you right now. We have bigger fish to fry. Probably after we save the world or we die, or just before we die.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that these things are going to crush you.
So, oh great,
So,
Demi Lich,
two-
Dwight.
Dwight
Two
is fine.
Titans, one Titan, one.
Well, there were a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
Titans, but they don't all get released at once. You have to go and undo their seals and let them loose.
Okay.
It's
Oh.
not supposed to be an easy thing. In fact, it's supposed to be incredibly hard. That's why I thought I could take a nap.
Would all the seals still be downstairs?
Well, they're not all here. This was just one seal for one Titan. Do you really think that we put them all in one place?
Michael just stares at him like that for a moment.
He stares back. Well, he has gems for eyes, so he's just looking in your direction, I suppose.
So, how many more are there?
A lot.
Where mayhap would they be?
Well, okay, so they're Titans. They can be wherever they want, all right? Like, for example, as soon as Andy finds it, I kind of had the Earth Elemental Titan. He kind of has a weird name, Myrmidon. I don't know. Giant
Myrmidon?
guy made of rock. And,
Volcano?
he was sealed to here. There was a Phoenix that was also sealed, which, the Phoenix isn't... Not all... I mean, Titans don't really care about mortals so much as they just want to take over whatever is theirs. Some of them are elemental. Some of them are just really big. I'm pretty sure there was like a dragon turtle in their number. Oh, and the Tarrasque. He's in there somewhere. You don't want him to get loose.
I don't want any of them to be loose.
Yeah, that was the plan. The idea was that they wouldn't be let loose on this plane ever again. But someone obviously screwed that up.
How did they get sealed the first time?
A lot of magic.
Right.
Okay. We'll try to find the person who's unsealing them. You try to gather to... I need to think before I actually speak on this because you're a demi-lich. Nobody's going to really look at you and not want to and want to help you.
I think
First off.
what my friend is trying to say, would you be able to help us in resealing them if we can figure out a way to?
Well, it's more like you need to destroy their current form. We can't just hey, lure them back into this big pit trap and put dirt over it. If you can destroy their current form, then that's going to hold them off for at least 1,000 years, in which time somebody can probably, can fix the seal.
Oh, let's hope that they don't, decide to take a nap.
Hey, I have been guarding this for over 4,000 years. All right, I had this place sunk into the very bones of the earth. There was supposed to be no way in.
And then comes Victor. Maybe.
We need to
Who
check
else
out
is
the
crazy
seal.
enough to wake up a Titan?
His daughter, because she absolutely hates everything.
I think she really hates. Anyway.
You know what? No one was even supposed to be living here. What is happening up there besides just death and destruction? This entire continent was a barren wasteland.
No,
4,000 years ago. A lot happens in 20 years, let alone 4,000 years.
Yeah, an entire continent that used to be barren and deathly can then become a verdant wonderland of fields, crops, a kingdom or two. In this case, our home.
Bards.
And now it's a new band of violence.
That's fantastic. Will you people leave now?
Our home is an archipelago.
My home has a giant hole in the wall.
Good.
Is there any?
If we repair each other's homes, I think we can call it even.
Is there anything useful in your lab?
Otherwise, I am going to sit here and I am going to sing. And I don't care if you're a demi-lich that will kill me. I will take pleasure in the fact that I at least annoyed you before you decided to help.
How about if I give you the ability to raise dead? Will you leave if I do that? Look, okay. You eventually want to be able to rework the seal, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And possibly, I'm not saying this is a definite, but possibly there's someone out there who's trying to find the rest of the seals and break them, right?
Yep.
So you want to stop that.
Yes.
Okay. So go find the next seal and guard it with your lives. All right, team, break.
How about you also find people that can help you restart this seal as well? Because you actually are kind of immortal and magically powerful, and therefore might have at least some contact from generations ago that you can call upon, because their family might still be around and still be magical magicians that you could
And
use
he kind
to
of
talk
leans
to.
on your shoulder with his incorporeal body. Like, hey, buddy, I've been underground for 4,000 years. Do you think I was hosting a kegger in here? I don't know anybody who's still alive. The whole point of me taking up this position was that people would leave me alone to do my research.
He points to the giant hole in the wall.
Yes, that is very much concerning me.
Apparently, you didn't get left alone to do your research. So it might be good. You could either, put together a new band or raise the old band
I
to get them back together.
I put my hand over Michael's mouth. So to seal this thing away, does it have to be something like where we kill the thing? If we kill it, is that where a seal has to go, or can we fix this one?
Okay, so basically somebody had to open up a hole to their realm, and then they come out, and then they just go wild. They just smash everything until they got it to their liking, and then they rule over it. Most of them don't like, squishy little bipeds running around in their domain. So it's sort of like other creatures from another plane. You destroy their body, they have to go back home, and it can sometimes take them a while to reform. Are you following me so far?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
My hand's still over Michael's mouth.
The ones that are out, you pretty much need to destroy them or banish them if you're good enough. The point is, you need to get them not here. Usually you do that by throwing a lot of people at it.
Yeah.
Now, you also while at the exact same time, you also want to stop the other guy from opening. These are like two things that need to be done simultaneously, and there's two of you, so one goes one direction, one goes the other. Now, I will start working on the seal on my end. But
Fair.
until you get them through the door, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'll close the door, but then you still got to kick them out of this realm. And you do that by smashing them to bits, or banishing them, or sticking them into a pocket dimension and then throwing it into the ocean. But don't do that because one of the, there are some that like the ocean. But you get my point, throw it into the astral sea, and then they're not our problem anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the Titan that does live in the astral sea. If he gets out, you're still screwed. But hey, if you get him back to the astral sea, then he's not your problem anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So go out there and kill stuff. I'm going to the library, and he starts floating the other way.
I let go of Michael now. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
So he's effectively telling us to split the party.
Yeah.
What's the one rule of adventuring?
Split the party. Well, no, actually what I'm thinking is, like, if we can find, I don't know, maybe 2 warring armies. I wonder where we might find one of those, if they're still warring, I don't know.
We need to find your brother, then.
If it is Victor, somehow the Titan needs to be taken care of. And somehow Victor needs to be taken care of. If it is Victor. It could very well not be. It's just the most probable thing that I can think of off the top of my head. Because who else is crazy enough to do that?
Dwight comes back in with a book, like, you're still here. Why won't you people leave?
Because we need to formulate a plan on what we're going to be doing.
I thought we had one. You leave. And I go to
That's
my
a
library.
very vague general plan. We're trying to put together resources in order to put together a better plan.
If I give you a hammer that helps you rebuild your town, will you leave?
Okay.
He reaches into a cupboard and hands you a very uninspired looking hammer. It's a simple hammer.
He takes it.
Please just be
And then starts walking away.
I follow him.
Okay.
Michael, I can't fly for another.
You know how to use that, right?
No, I don't. Do you have an instruction manual?
Well, you just call up the workers and then tell them what to do.
So it's a plain hammer.
No, it is a focus for the workers.
The workers? Like normal people?
Will the workers to appear before you?
Michael focuses on it and goes,
Maybe not here?
Let's have the workers appear.
Fine. You can call them here because you need to know how it works. Because I don't want you coming back and saying that Dwight gave you defective things. Okay? I have a reputation, a fearsome reputation, and I don't need it getting messed up because somebody doesn't know how to use what I'm giving them.
I'm sure it's terrifying.
Yes, like
It
a
is.
puppy.
Mm-hmm.
A Great Dane puppy.
I actually kind of believe him because I feel like he's like Simpkins. Tiny, but powerful.
Do you want to summon the workers?
Yes, he does want. I do want to summon the workers.
Okay.
I'm trying to summon the workers. That's why I focused on it.
Okay. So, yeah, but when you actually, desire them, a pack of skeletons crawls out of the ground.
Oh.
Some of them have little hard hats on. Yeah, boss, what do you need?
We need Wildem rebuilt.
Okay. What's Wildem?
Wildem is the capital city, about an hour and a half flight that way.
Okay, then calling us here was a really bad idea. We can't do much from here.
Could
you
you
could
rebuild
fix
this
my
wall?
wall. We could fix his wall. Do you want us to fix his wall?
Let's fix his wall. Fix
Okay.
his wall. That way he shuts up about it.
Where are the stones? Are the stones over there? Because that's a very long ways off.
Michael just looks at him and goes, the entire mountainside uses the stone.
Okay, and they kind of like turn. How about we just smash the sarcophagus? That'll get started. Don't smash my sarcophagus. Okay, we're gonna go out and find some stones, and then they just start walking away.
He turns to Dwight. They're not very intelligent, are they?
They're
Is that
actually very
correct?
competent when you give them work, but when you call them up and tell them to rebuild a city that's an hour and a half away, that was not the best instruction to give them. They will fulfill their work to the best of their ability, but you have to provide raw materials. Otherwise, they go out and find them themselves. Look, I just gave you a bunch of undead construction workers. What more do you want?
Yeah,
One last
right.
question: Is
Yes.
there a way? Is there a way to make them not skeletal?
No, they're dead.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
And when you're done with them, you just put them back.
Fair enough. Thank you.
You're
The
welcome.
way is shut. The way is shut. It was built by those who are dead. The dead keep it shut. The way is shut.
No, the way is wide open. That's why you're still standing here, apparently. Look, I am trying to find out where I put my big book of seals, so I'm going back to the library now.
Try looking under the
Big-
S section.
Wait, hold on. Big Book of Seals? Is that telling you how to make a seal, or is that telling you where the seals are?
Yes.
Oh, so it does both.
Is it possible somebody took it?
Well, that's what I need to go to the library and find out about. It's not like I had the only one, you know. A lot of people were involved in the sealing process.
True.
If you
Michael
happen to know
goes
of a
to
really
help.
big library, then, hey, go get your own book.
Oh. How about we help you find yours? Because that will help us with ours.
Someone needs to be here to make sure that the skeletons don't rip apart the rest of my building. And you hear something collapse off in the distance.
Want me
I'll
to
guide
do
them.
babysitting duty?
Why don't you put the
Why don't
workers
you-
away?
Oh yeah, do that.
And it's going to take me a while to try to find what's going on. If you have anyone else you can talk to who might know, because, again, I'm out of the loop. The loop is over here. I'm over here.
Never mind. Nobody heard that conversation. Okay.
No, you
Um,
did not.
I forgot that it wasn't on speak to talk. Speak to talk. Okay. Michael will discall the workers and then start heading towards the seal room to try and gather up any sort of evidence on who actually cracked this thing.
Okay, so you need to fly across, and the workers all jump into the water and try to start swimming because you told them to follow you.
No, he said he was not he was unsummoning them.
Oh,
Or
I
whatever.
thought you... Okay. I like the idea of them just jumping into the ocean. Okay, yeah, you can go and start exploring the other side of the temple, or the whatever the building is. And give me...
I've got a lift.
Are you going with them?
Yeah.
Okay. So the dude will join you guys. Let's call it. You're having to walk around a building that was designed for you not to be able to find anything. Let's go with intelligence checks.
Why do we have to have it be the one thing that I've got like 0 in now?
Because it's more interesting for me. Okay, I'm even going to let the dude have a try at this. Oh, he got a natural 20. I'm not
Alright.
even joking. All right, so the dude's just like, oh, yeah, this all makes sense. You know, he got that crafter's instincts, able to find it. Yeah, you basically see that there was an elaborate seal that was literally like carved in with precious metals and gems, the normal sort of thing for an elaborate sealing circle, and it is smashed. And it's like, huh. So it looks like somebody tunneled in from up in the ceiling. Boy, they just really got lucky to come straight down here.
I don't think this was luck.
Because then he points down the other pathway, because I'm guessing there's a lot of traps that way. So the front door was probably over there. Because they came in through there. That's just smart, man. That's really smart. Well,
Michael starts looking
not breaking the seal. That was obviously not smart. That's horrible, destructive earth thing.
Michael starts looking around for any sort of clue on what type of being did this.
Okay, let's make that an investigation.
Does my true sight give me advantage?
No, it does not. It just means that you see through any illusions.
Oh, thank God!
Okay. No, this was just raw force. It could have been any number. It could have been magic, or it could have been, I guess it could have been a pretty wide number of ways, but basically somebody just, smashed the seal, and that opened up the doorway to wherever this guy was.
So
Wilson,
Michael's going to cast Detect Magic to see if there's any sort of remnants of what sort of if it was a spell that broke the seal, what sort of magic it was.
Okay. You're getting remnants of the magic that sort of permeated this place for a long time, but it's there's not a specific like spell remnant that's left after this long. But you do hear something that is crawling from underground. Like, the hole that this thing might have... Actually, no, well, the hole that it came out of is, everything you're seeing. But there's still, like, some tunnels that are coming up. And a small four-legged thing... I say thing because, like, there are four... It's not quite spherical. Think like a rock-like egg with four legs on the bottom. Is kind of crawling its way out, and it has a mouth that opens like this.
Sparky!
What?
Like, and it makes a noise like rocks grinding against each other.
Can I make an animal handling check to try and tame the thing?
Is it an animal?
Yeah, it's not an animal, so no.
Is it an Arcana check to figure out what the hell it is?
I'll allow an Arcana check to figure out what it is. This is a Kargra. It is a small elemental being, and as such, it has a habit of eating metal, because as it crawls its way up, it makes that sound at you, and then it starts like looking around through the different metals that are currently still in the ground.
Stay away from my armor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
this
just like
thing's gonna-
it'll go over to a bit of metal and it'll start to scratch it out.
Okay then. Well, I have a way for us to go up the way this whatever broke the seal came from.
Let's do that. Should we warn the Demi-Lich about the thing?
You know that these things are actually relatively harmless. Some cultures will actually tame them or train them to be a form of messenger, because being an earth elemental, they can just move through rock and stone with no problem. But yeah, they don't like to pick fights unless they just absolutely have to. So it's probably just one of the things that followed in the wake of the Earth Titan. That's
It's kind of cute in a way.
you know, and then, in fact, that's sort of the implication that like the Phoenix probably wasn't you know the worst of the things to come out. It just came out with the rest of them and picked out its place to live. So
All
you
right,
guys are flying up through the hole.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
it just like an open hole?
Yeah, it's a perfectly
Oh, okay.
circular 5-foot hole.
Oh, okay.
And
I
I
don't
mean,
need that.
it's like so perfect that it was obviously dug through magical means.
Okay.
Am
When
I
did you
able
do
to?
that, Michael?
It's been weeks. There's no remnant of the spell. I mean, like I said, this looks like, um, it's almost like someone used disintegration to go straight down. You might have heard stories about how that's how beholders make their homes sometimes. They just use their disintegration ray to dig out a big cavern. And when you finally get up, like you have to fly up 100 feet, give or take. But this was, you come out in uh, just a rocky cavern. Nothing at all interesting about the rocky cavern, except for the fact that there's a hole going down 100 feet.
Is there a way out of the cavern?
Sure.
Okay.
You can make your way out, and it's the mountain range that was, a few. It's the mountain range that was outside of Wildem.
It's kind of crazy that something like this was so close to home.
It's kind of irritating. Well, we find and solve one issue. Come back. Something bigger's happened. Try and solve that one. Potentially solve that one. Come back. Find a bigger issue. Things just seem to be escalating as we become more powerful.
Yeah, isn't it always weird how that kind of thing happens? I mean, it's like, you think that you're just going to go and you're going to do something, but then other people are doing this other thing, and then sometimes you come back and you find out that they did things that you don't like. But you can't really be mad at them because they're just doing their thing.
Yeah,
Unless they did
it's like
something
having
bad,
a really
then you can be mad
annoying
at 'em.
roommate, kind of.
Michael, can you scry?
No, I can't, but I think I know somebody who can. Actually, Michael's going to send a message, going to use sending to send Victor a message.
What do you say?
I don't know you're doing this, but I don't approve.
Michael tells Victor, so, are you the reason why the Titans are out?
And it takes a moment, and you get back. The puppet has returned at long last. It would have been better if you had all just stayed away. Maybe we could have ended the destruction sooner, but alas, it must be.
Michael uses one of his higher spell slots in order to sending out to him. That doesn't answer the question. Can you please tell me, are you the one that released the Titan?
And this time you don't get a reply because it takes a moment, but an illusion version of Victor appears before you. I had always said all you had to do to converse was just ask.
Yeah, I know.
And to answer your question, yes, I am releasing the Titans.
Of course
You had
Because
your
he's-
opportunity to work with me to find a better solution. Then you left, and I had to continue on with Plan B.
And Plan B is releasing the Titans in order to remake the world completely.
Why would I tell you my plans now?
Because you're hopeful.
I was hopeful, but you
Or arrogant.
rejected my offer. Leave. Go back wherever you were. Live your life and let this plane be. It'll be better for us all. And it flickers out.
Yeah, because Avernus is a much better comparison to this.
No, he's talking about the other plane.
Because you were in Sigil for quite a while before you went to Avernus. Which, Michael, when he says Sigil, you remember that you had dealings with Rule of 3.
Yes. Yes, I did. Shall we go back to Sigil?
For what? In case you haven't noticed, we have things to do here.
And also,
Oh,
the portal
it
to
ties in.
Sigil was in Chult. Which
Yeah.
meant that's why you needed, your druid friend to help you with travel.
Yep. There is a reason for it. I've gotten the entire reason why I was hell in the first place, besides the God Sword, which I've given up on now, was to get information
I would
on
hope
Victor.
so.
Yeah, I definitely have. Though right now I'm kind of wondering, maybe it could have helped in this situation, but, too much, too little, too late. But, yeah. I was getting information on Victor.
Okay, what kind of information?
All
We
the
know he's trying to
information.
destroy the. We know he's trying to destroy the world. We know he somehow has the means to release Titans. What
All
else?
the information. Pretty much all the information that could be gotten on him.
What would be helpful that we don't already know?
Pretty much what makes him tick. Besides,
We know that.
The dude is
No,
like,
we
hey, you know that really powerful magic skull guy? You think he'll give you a lift?
Magic all got the Dwight?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Dwight?
Yeah. I mean, he gave you that cool hammer.
Yeah.
Michael, time in
Mhm.
Sigil is very different than here. We've already been gone long enough.
No, Sigil runs on your time. It's
My
other
understanding it was very different.
No,
'Cause it was last
it's
time we were
places
there.
like the Feywild that can run on different time. Sigil is just another plane of existence where mortals live.
Yeah.
You were there for a while because you decided to build a business and home there, and you didn't have the means to immediately come back.
We still have the ability to use the portal in Chult to get into Sigil. We can ask Dwight if he can send us into Sigil. But we have the ability to get this information because I fulfilled my contract with my informant. I
Fine.
can gather that back. Michael sort of does a swan dive down through the hole. And as soon as he's out the other side of it, back inside of the building, he lets open his wings and then starts flying towards Dwight.
Okay.
I just look up before going back down the hall. And I follow.
I'm just trying to look something up because I didn't have all my sheets here. I'm gonna try and find it in a minute. Okay. So anyway, yeah, it'll only take you a few minutes. You don't see Dwight immediately, but you know what hallway he was walking down. So if you want, you can keep on walking until you find a giant library.
Yep.
And he's looking around.
I already know who's doing it. I just need your help to get into Sigil. That way I can get the information that I was already trying to get on him. That way I can then start undoing all of this.
Kind of, 4,000 years ago, we had this thing called knocking. You would inform the person that you were coming in to their personal living space, even though I'm not technically alive.
Michael points to the giant hole in the building.
Just because my home has been shattered does not excuse poor manners. I have disintegrated people for less.
I knock on the wall.
You may enter. Now, why are you still here?
We need to gather some information on potentially who
That's
was
what
the one
I am
who-
working on with the books.
I've got a name. I have an informant I need to get to in Sigil. I already know this person. I've dealt with them before. But the information that I'm trying to get from my informant in Sigil can turn the tide. At least on this side. Once we've dealt with Victor, it's going to be something else to deal with the Titans. But
What he's trying to
betrayals?
say is you have the ability to send us to Sigil, and if you do, could you help us out?
Fine. It will take me a couple of hours to get the portal ready, but I will send you to Sigil.
Thank you.
Return trips on you.
Thank you.
well, we've got a way to get back. But thank you. This just expedites things quite quickly because it's all the way down in Schultz.
And
Stop
he
talking.
says, and he'll go about collecting everything he needs to open up a magical portal. I guess it's going to take him a little while. So, if there's anything you want to do for the next 2 hours.
I miss Corvus.
I don't.
Okay, so you sit there for 2 hours to Miss Corvus.
Yeah.
And, okay. And he will eventually, gather up things and begins to cast a spell. And a portal in the middle of the air opens up. It's like, okay, go.
Michael
Thank
jumps
you
through.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right, you all jump through. And
Yep.
I love the cape, by the way. I'm so mean at you because I'm jealous of it.
are you
I
like sticking your
chose
head
it
back through
through.
the portal to say this?
No, he yells it through the portal.
Okay, sound doesn't travel through the portal, unfortunately. But
Damn, that is actually one killer rope, by the way, though.
so you all jump through the portal. I like to imagine you were sticking your head back through, but Trevor shoves you through anyway because that's just a fun image. And once you're all through,
No.
the portal closes up, and you find that he has actually deposited you right in the middle of town.
Oh, good.
Michael starts heading towards where Rule of 3 normally would be.
Okay. And this is where I'm just trying to see. It's like, I know I had all this stuff about Rule of 3 at one time, but again, maybe I should be keeping my mouth shut and not saying anything until I actually have all of the different bits pulled up, because you're able to find them. And so, okay, you're able to find him, and you may speak to him whenever.
I pull out from my bag the 3
Yeah,
flasks of water from the river Styx, the 3 flasks of celestial blood, and look to him and go, "It's all done."
He will take the vials of blood, kind of dips one claw in, taste it, seals that up, takes the water, dips a claw in, taste it. Like, a deal is a deal is a deal. And he will begin to tell you. The first secret is that while he does not worship the goddess secrets, Vecna has shared with him a terrible truth about your world, and it is something that has made him forsake all other oaths he has sworn. The second...
I'm coming back.
Where did I put that one? Among his other studies, he has found long forgotten rituals that he's used to strengthen himself, including having several of his vital organs removed and stored in canopic jars. The third secret is that he believes that your realm is being influenced by another source, and he hoped to find a way to prevent it. If he could not stop the influence, then he would just settle for ending people's suffering.
Oh, God. Never trust Vecna. Vecna's always got something up his hand. Never, ever trust Vecna.
You realize we're talking about Victor, right?
Yeah. Victor stepped in too deep and is pretty much gone mad.
So
like
what? He figured out something that could go wrong, so he just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna make it. I'm just gonna end the non-existent suffering as it is."
Well, no, there actually is suffering in the world, but then that's part of life. Life does have suffering. It's what makes the moments where there's happiness that much better. And it gives definition to life in and of itself. You are going to suffer. You are going to have joy. You are going to have sorrow. You are going to have pain. But everything is needed in order for existence to be. He thinks that by removing suffering, he makes existence better. Or at least hopes he makes existence better, and therefore removes the influence that this other power has. It's a noble cause. It's batshit insane on how he's doing it. I mean, it's kind of the sort of thing that I would do if I had intelligence.
I just kind of stare at him at that.
Rule of 3
What?
has just gone back to his drink.
Thank you very much, Rule.
He gives you a wave. Anytime, I'm always here. My door is always open.
Well, if you ever need anything, just come on up and ask. So.
Or don't, that's fine too.
So, Michael starts walking towards the pub that has the portal to Cholt.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the thing of it is that he probably thinks he's doing something great.
Nope.
Probably is doing something great, but the intentions are going to just screw up everything. You can't do something this massive without it having repercussions across all of the planes.
Well, there's no covering. There's nothing noble about what he's doing. He's literally planning to murder, what, billions of people because they might suffer?
An end to suffering is a noble cause, though. It's how one goes about it. One can go about ending suffering by getting to know each individual person and comforting them in their time of need. Or you could just slaughter the entire lot and pretty much go, let's rebuild it and make it a happy place.
Or you can pray to Shar to take your suffering away.
Exactly.
But you can't really stop the suffering. That doesn't happen until you're dead. Unless you go to Avernus, then it keeps going.
Or you go to the Abyss and then it continues to go.
Yeah. But for the most part, if you're alive, you're suffering. It's part of life. You can't undo it. You can. A big part of the whole universe is creation and destruction are just the same side or opposite sides of the same coin.
I think I kind of said that with the entire thing of
you
life. You
said it a lot more than I did, though.
Yeah, I did. I think mine sounded better, though, so. But, yeah.
Sounded drawn up.
But within an hour of walking, and most of it, I think, being, Michael chattering, you'll be able to make your way to the portal. Unless there's anything you want to do while you're here.
I don't think so. Well, is Zoriel back here yet? Probably not. She was still in.
Yeah, she was. She had stayed in Yggdrasil.
I think what he's going to do by reconfiguring the entire material plane is he's going to sever its connection to the other planes that could have terrible consequences for everything.
Is that even possible?
It can be. Everything's interconnected, but if you manage to damage the connections between each, you could theoretically send one plane into a spiral out into the greater ether, which would sever it from the other realms and make it less. Everything is in balance. The material plane connects into the Feywild, into the rest of the planes, and they're all each interconnected and affecting each other. The abilities of people on this plane being good would affect a whichever planes that they end up on when they die, because they're sent there until they then either choose to be recycled into the material plane, or that belief system dies out completely, and then it theoretically would collapse, because the only people that are there are those souls that still are there. So it would become lesser if there was no new people being added to it, as other belief systems then became stronger. So,
long story short, we kill Victor.
Yeah, long story short, we kill Victor, we might be able to save the entire universes?
No pressure.
But then that's just the theoretical side. Otherwise, he's just going to be slaughtering billions upon billions of people in pretty much the same way that I was thinking destroying gods might be a good thing. It's a noble cause.
Not really.
Destroy a god.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Anything.
I'm gonna kill a god because he messed with my life. How did they mess with your life any more than another god did?
They directly influenced and manipulated events around me.
The dude kind of leans in.
Which were originally caused by what?
By Victor. Well, partially myself, but also Victor as well.
And there is no blaming Victor for that one. The whole Bahamut thing, that was you. Maybe Azir too.
I'm talking about the very, very beginning. It was my own actions that caused me to get into jail. But it was Victor's decision to pull me into this. that caused me to continue on.
Marching, right?
But
Now,
did he stand there and tell you, hey, cut off my daughter's head and carve Bahamut was here by her? No, that wasn't Victor. You cannot blame him for that.
No, that
He
was
may
my
have put
fault.
you in. Yeah, he may have put you in that situation, but he didn't make you do that. And
His
from
own
then,
choice.
Cyric decided, oh, hey, this mortal's kind of interesting, and I'm bored as fuck. I'm gonna fuck with him because that's what I do.
Yes, but Trevor, he does have an effect on what happens. I would have just potentially died inside that tank.
In the coming future, yes, he does, but
No,
there's no logic behind killing gods.
Hence why I'm actually equating what he's doing to what I was planning to do. I'm not saying
So
that there
we're
is.
understood.
Well, no, he's trying to kill mortals. You were trying to kill a god. That is different. That's
He's trying to sever the connection between the planes in order so that the gods cannot affect the plane itself.
But
You
is
do
he?
that.
that's still
Yeah,
different than
technically.
what
Or is
you
he-
were doing. See, you were trying to kill gods. He's trying to separate the world from them. That's different.
Yes.
Awesome.
It still includes a lot of death.
Yes.
Yes, we can agree on that part.
You kill one person, you're a murderer. You kill about 5, you're a serial killer. You kill 1,000, you're a king. You kill everyone, you're a god.
What the hell are we at this point?
The dude is trying to
somewhere-
follow this trail of logic. Yeah, no, Vecna sacrificed a lot of people to get where he was. But I'm pretty sure it was more than 1,000.
Yeah,
He also
But
just
it-
really enjoyed killing people, from what I understand.
yeah. But I'm sort of looking at it from the point of view of he wants to do something that he thinks will end suffering. I wanted to do something that I thought would end suffering. They were both actions that were horrendous. They were both actions that, while in our minds we saw as noble, it's stupid because of the amount of death involved. You get the line of thought here. I'm not actually being this entire thing of, I'm actually stating here, the actions are pretty similar in thought process. It's a stupid idea. He's going to end up possibly causing more death, destruction, and mayhem than I could ever do, and that's saying something because I managed to actually outlive everything that's been thrown at me so far, and I'm expecting to die still, but this is wrong. If anything, the only 2 people who really deserve to die out of this is me for as many laws as I've broken, and him for as many people as he's destroyed. And Vecna needs to shut the hell up for about the next 1,000 years and not influence anybody, because every single time that he does, it's going to end up badly right now. Am I wrong in this at all?
Yeah, it's,
Not really. Ow! Oh, my knee, I'm stabbing myself.
Dude?
Can't actually hit you.
Oh, you're asking a cleric if he thinks the god should stay out of things. Or when you
I'm
think about
asking
the
him-
statement.
No, it's more on the fact that both Michael and Victor were really on the wrong side of the bed when it came to making ideas and plans.
You know,
Because-
I really can't tell someone that their way of thought is wrong because, you know, it's your view on the world, and it's just not my place to tell people what's right and what's wrong. I just make stuff, and I like to make stuff.
I can't argue with that, honestly.
Okay. All right.
So,
But it's agreed that we shouldn't let Victor release any more Titans. And if he's going to keep trying to do this, he needs to be stopped. And to put a Titan back in its hole, well, you gotta hit it a lot, I guess.
Yeah. Or you hit it with something that it can't get up from. Or you just destroy its mind.
Any ideas how to do that there?
Well, I can't really talk it to death, so.
I wouldn't put it past you to try, and you might get somewhere. I have seen you talk.
Well, I have been known to spin logical thought processes that have given people aneurysms.
Hmm. I'm assuming we've left somewhere. Like we're either
I'm
walking.
waiting for you
Yeah,
guys to
or-
tell me when you walk through the portal.
We're heading towards the portal,
Yeah, so
right?
you know,
Okay.
I'm going to have to cut you off soon because we're running into overtime now. But getting Kyle to stop talking is, I'm just going to turn off his microphone.
So yeah.
So we get to the portal and leave, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So as you step through the portal into Cholt, the once vibrant tropical city looks like it's been wiped away by a tidal wave. Like before, there are some structures still there, but very, very few people. You do kind of hear a familiar voice that's singing, sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the world float, boom, away.
Who is that?
Bugger!
And he's kind of sitting off on what's left of the dock, like, oh, hey, you guys are alive. Cool. Too bad
Dude!
to see the end of the world. He's like, they're sticking dynamite before he chunks it out into the ocean.
Where's your other half
The hell
of the
Oh.
business?
Tink, she took off when the world ended.
You want to go find her?
Nah, there's not much left for me anymore.
No, we might be able to save it.
We're gonna try anyway.
Hey, I'm 20 years old. I have dedicated my life trying to do something I was going to be memorable for. And if there's no one left to remember it, well, then my life was a waste. Throws more dynamite out into the water.
Yeah, but think of it like this. The memorable thing that you could do is stop a Titan.
I just look at my.
Okay, I'm 20 years old. I'm too old to go chasing after walking mountains and giant turtles. And I mean something that chased off the dragon turtle that lived here. There used to be a dragon turtle that lived out in the ocean there demanding tribute. It left. That was a bad sign.
We could get you back together with Tink and making stuff that explodes bigger than this.
Okay,
go.
I'm in. And we will call it there for the week.
Oh.
We will be back in 1 week when we get back to our normal schedule for the new year as we continue the Rise of the Titans. And, oh yeah, you guys are all level 14 now.
Woo!
Yay!
So join us next week as these guys try to figure out how they're going to kill a mountain. Bye.